Good morning, everyone. Let me just 1 second get a few more things set up here, and we'll get started in just a second. All right, almost done here. Whew. All right, looks like we're ready to go. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the live stream. We first review the watch list, then we trade the market open every day. Hope everyone had a great weekend and they're ready to start Monday, healthy, fresh, feeling good. Today is Monday after all. It is the 18th of May and it's it's actually a little later. It's 9:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we only got another 13 minutes before the market opens at 9:30. We'll wrap up trading like always between 10:30 and 11 a.m. Check out the video descriptions below for some FAQs and let's dive into things. Probably got to catch up just a little bit here, but at the same time, not really too bad. Good morning, guys, though. Paul, Carl. Whew, that's a crazy name. Abishek. I hope I'm saying that right. I think I totally butchered it, but good to see you here. OAS, 1AP Pro, Ruben, Ilu, Marco. Mark, I see you hold SRNE over the weekend. Yeah, that was a pretty sweet one. Actually, we'll just go ahead and probably start with that one. Ooh, my hat's kind of getting in the way here. Kind of push this thing down as much as possible. You know when you take a sweater or something out of the wash machine, this thing is so stiff. I think it's the calc in Berlin is just insane. So this shirt is like, I gotta press it down here. So yeah, let's go talk about SRNE because this is kind of, I think, one of the lead gappers. It's not popping up on my gap scanner, and the reason for that is, as a lot of you guys probably already know, is simply because it doesn't fit all my scan criteriums because it's kind of a large cap. But the way it's been running with the amount of news lately, it's kind of acting a bit more like a small cap. So I will probably be looking into it. But yeah, 1.4 billion. Is the market cap, 200 million shares outstanding. These are much higher numbers than we're typically looking for. Typically, we're looking for ideally south of 500 million for a small cap and shares outstanding south of 50 million. And then ideally even, south of 10 million. So that's typically what we're looking for. But SRNE, some really good opportunities on it yesterday or Friday. But like always, I wrap up my trading typically before 11 o'clock and especially for this challenge account. So SRNE, we're looking for a little breakout trade here past $5. And, we kept on getting hit by this resistance zone here at $5. Tried to break out several times. This was an ABC pattern. We just couldn't break out. So I eventually closed this trade for, a scratch. Basically just made a couple cents a share on it. Then some news came out, which wasn't bad news, but still, day traders don't want to be really trading news. So the second it comes out, people are closing their positions quickly. This thing instantly dips 14% in just one candle. Was this 14%? That's what I remembered. Maybe it was the whole move. It was like the whole move was about 13% actually. It's about 11% and then 12, 13% total. That was pretty aggressive, but then instantly we recovered once people understood it wasn't really bad news. And then, this thing started running up here. This would have been some really interesting times to trade it, but I didn't do any of the trading in the afternoon, typically, like always. Actually, SRNE makes a little bit of a, I was going to say is making a solid little afternoon gun pattern, but not really. It's kind of a classic stair stepper more than anything. So SRNE out of the gates, this thing is, what is that, at 9.6. We closed roughly here at 6.76. So let's see here. So gapping up about 40%. The float, I looked it up, 110 million float, pretty serious sized float, but still this thing is moving quite aggressively. US biotech, Jim Cramer even talked about it. He had a tweet about it. Coronavirus antibody positive news. So possible corona cure. We've been seeing a lot of stocks, a lot of biotechs with, possible corona vaccines or possible XYZ. But a lot of them just, spike, even if it's just for one day. But SRNE so far, it looks a little bit more credible. It's also a little bit larger of a company. So to be moving this much, there's got to be a little bit of substance behind it at least. Mark, I've never seen you. You know, I used to wear hats all the time. I don't know. It was kind of laying around, and I was a little all over the place, so why not? Let's see, let's see. I'll check out this KTOV in a little bit here. We got another 8 minutes till the market opens. Just looking at some of the runners from yesterday, BLIN, you know, didn't really do too much. These were our two other stocks that we traded. You know, sold off the rest of the day. We had the nice breakout trade with BLIN, and then TTPH. We had a nice little 5 minute breakout, 1 minute pullback after a red to green move, looking to break the VWAP. Unfortunately, this one wasn't the best continuation. So, or actually, it was great continuation. It didn't hold its highs, but it was a pretty nice breakout, about a 14% breakout from where we entered. Unfortunately, I just, you know, I kind of chickened out on this one and closed my position right before the breakout. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Both of them kind of pulling back a little bit. BLIN really pulling back, while TTPH holding its highs a little bit. Both of them I probably won't be looking at today. So I'll be switching out the stocks I'm looking at on this screen for sure. So let's see here. We got another 6.5 minutes till the market opens. Honestly, SRNE is kind of making some nice moves here higher. I like this little break back above VWAP, this bounce back to VWAP, and a continuation here with a little bit more volume coming in as well. So looking pretty good. SRNE wouldn't even be the worst pre-market trade, but I'm going to go ahead and review everything else first, kind of prepare for market open. But let's see. I mean, this could break back above $10 pretty soon here. Ooh. CHK holding the highs here pre-market, 20% gapping up, not really the biggest move, but 10 million shares outstanding, 9 million float, US oil and gas company. There's actually quite a lot of negative news about CHK, and I'm not too interested in trading this one. Plus, it's outside my price range. I don't know. I think it's just an oil and gas bouncer. A lot of these oil and gas companies have, you know, energy stocks have just been really, you know, suppressed lately, or been pulling back for several months. So sometimes they bounce off the lows, and it's a quite nice move, but it doesn't really need a catalyst or anything. And the CHK doesn't really have a catalyst. FL GT over $20 pre-market. Quite a nice little move here. 40%, nothing really too crazy. Some support at $20. Let's see what the news was. Gets FDA emergency use authorization. We've seen some pretty decent runs because of that news. FDA emergency use authorization, merge use auth. About 21 million shares outstanding. Did so, detection. Yeah, it could be an interesting bounce here. $20, clearly big support. We're at all-time highs on FLGT. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be looking at it, but could be kind of interesting. We'll see how much action we get into the market at the market open. YCBD, I really think this is maybe one of the more interesting lead gappers. Unfortunately, it's pulled back quite a bit. You guys know I typically don't like trading any stocks that are pulling back more than 25% of their pre-market highs. And YCBD is already pulling back 33%. I mean, great bounce potential on some of these key multi-month support and resistance zones, but I don't know. I'm not super interested in it at the moment. But that pre-market gap of 100% was pretty strong out of the gates. Something a little confusing with YCBD though. 51 million shares outstanding, 32 million float. Although on TOS it says 51 million, right? And then on Finviz it actually said 27 million shares outstanding. It even said a higher float on Finviz, so that's a little bit confusing. Not really sure about that. Anyway, they Q2 they beat earnings estimate, so that's you know, pretty good catalyst. But that, you know, check out the daily chart here, $2, so much resistance, and we touched that $2 area, and we've kind of been pulling back ever since. So that's really not looking too hot on that one. But I'll definitely keep an eye on YCBD. All right. We got another 3 minutes here. Let's quickly kind of keep on going through. We got IMV, 40% gap, 60 million shares outstanding, 50 million float, Canadian biotech. They had an upgrade, so their $13 price target, you can see it here, raises price target to $13. So that's even Wells Fargo upgrades them to 8.5. So that's actually quite a good catalyst. So IMV could be a pretty solid little trade here. Could even be something to look into for swing trades or for the Roth IRA. But for the challenge account, I'm not sure if we're going to be trading it, but I'll definitely have an alert here. So if we break over 3.5. So IMV, big swing trade potential. BTGN popped up, but it's sub dollar. Probably won't be looking at it. KTOV, I think you guys wanted me to look at. I'll check that one out really quickly here. $0.64, yeah, under a dollar. Not sure if I'm going to be looking at this one. Definitely could have some potential. I mean, we are above, we were above VWAP for a little bit, or the 180-day moving average. I'm not sure. Don't really want to be trading sub dollar though. OMP, I think this one just popped up on our scanner here. What is this one going up? Misses estimates. Exceeded guidance, that's always good. OMP. And ACB from yesterday, I'm not sure if we're going to be looking at that one. I actually kind of like this OMP thing here. Me watching that one. ACB very quickly. These stocks over $10, sometimes a little bit cautious with. Not, you know, our bread and butter kind of gap and go challenge account, but it is moving up 40%. I mean, kind of interesting, I gotta say. Resistance maybe around the 20s, 28, 25 zones, but this could still have some upside. I'm not sure. We'll keep an eye on it. See what has the most volume today. I'm not totally sure on, you know, what is the most obvious lead gapper on the day. I mean, that's always what you want to be focusing on. I kind of want to say that SRNE just because everyone's watching it from yesterday. So I think I'm going to watch SRNE out of the gates, and I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on the scanner and see what else is moving. But yeah. All right, guys, 10 more seconds till the bell rings here. Good luck, everyone. Keeping an eye on SRNE. Here we go. This is, oof, look at them sellers there at $10. Could see a bit of a flash pullback here. A lot of profit taking. Markets are green. Bitcoin's up. Oil's up. The fact that oil is up might be really good news for CHK, so keep an eye out for that one. We have some big time resistance here at about $10, so this is going to be a fun area to watch. See if we can break it back above 10. This could be new time support. We tried pre-market at 1060. So this could be an open range breakout here at 10. 1090, 990. Here we go. Look at them sellers though at 6,000. Just a huge amount. Not sure if we're going to break through it. Trying again. A lot of selling though at that open. Make me a little bit cautious. ACB, big gap down at the open. Nice, Carmela. That's what I like to hear. SRNE still pulling back. I'm watching OMP. This thing's kind of ripping pretty hard. YCB found some support at 1.4. SRNE still pulling back. Not really too surprising on that one. It was a little hard to gauge how it would open. Little bounce here at 9.2. Waiting for my aftermarket open scanner to populate here, and then we'll start seeing what has the most volume out of the gates. OMP, guys, looking really, really good. Could see a breakout past 6. So far, no trades yet from me. Could have a little bit of green move or red to green move on SRNE right here. Not sure if we're going to get it. Don't really feel like entering it myself. But if we break back above the 975, that could be a possible entry for the red to green move. YCBD still pulling back. OMP pulling back as well. No trades yet for me. I'm going to put OMP up here just while we're waiting for my scanners to update. Improved guidance is always good. 33 million shares outstanding. Not a lot of dollar volume though. TOS is really slow for me this morning. Really, really slow. I see you guys, AFGS. My scanners are still not updating. Having definitely classic TOS issues right now. AFGS, AGFS. Quite the little break on this one, huh? Very, very low volume though, big spread. Nice moves though on the candles, big percentage mover. Yeah, so far for me, I'm just being a little bit cautious here. 8.8 SRNE still pulling back here. Colton, when you wake up at 6:29. All right. There goes our scanner. You guys are seeing it now, getting updated finally. I just noticed that SRNE was halted. I wasn't really watching it too closely. It looks like it was halted at 35.44. So probably 5-minute, yeah, volatility hot. I mean, 10-minute volatility hot. Halt. Wow. I can't speak. Should open up on at 9:40.44. So let's see what we get here on this one. Quite interesting. Could be a bit of a balance. I don't see any negative news or anything like that. So just kind of slowing down the selling volume. Could be a good little dip buy coming up here for sure. $8 big time multi-month support and resistance zone. We got very low volume in the small cap world right now. We got IBIO making a little bit of moves. I really don't like these plays with the huge resistance above. I probably won't be trading IBIO. CHK with a little bit of movement here. YCB. I think IBIO could be a good little bounce, maybe back at 155. CHK had a bit of a morning panic. Little red to green move could be coming up here. Big question is, can we break that 13? 6% bounce, not really too bad with CHK. KTOV, again, sub dollar, but nice little breakout there. A little VWAP pullback as well. YCBD could be having a red to green move. At one point, maybe a little bounce, but at the moment, so much selling off that I don't have too much faith in it. Just really small amount of volume in the small caps. I've noticed that every time the market is really green, sometimes the small caps aren't that hot. So I'm gonna be a little bit cautious here, just looking around. Heiko's back on the stream after filleting some fish. I could go for some fish right now. Another minute and a half probably till SRNE opens up again. Really light volume across the board here. I could probably see myself buying an IBIO dip. OMP pulling back a little bit as well. Yeah, Corey, I feel the same. Kind of a not super gap and go environment today, this morning in the small cap world. YCBD could be kind of interesting, but let's watch this SRNE open right here. Instantly bouncing. This is something we were saying that could happen here since the sell-off might be a little bit unwarranted. 4% bounce so far, not too bad. Can we break back above 9? To wake us all up. Yeah, maybe. I'm about to just make a coffee right now. All right, SRNE getting some life back into it. Broke the candle right before. That bounce off of basically 8.5 was quite nice. So taking a position right into the hold open would have been a good way to trade that one, which isn't necessarily the worst idea on a larger stock like this. SRNE could be setting up here for a break back above 9.5. IBIO pulling back a little bit. SRNE definitely scoring the dollar volume points on the day, but again, it's not really a small cap. Here we go. Kind of like what I'm seeing here. Just watching this one a little bit closer. Pull back past 9 might be a good position. Looking for a small entry here. I know 6. This is looking pretty okay. 23, 905 getting chipped away a little bit. We've got a first entry here. Looking for this for a little bit of a continuation. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a red to green setup here. Smaller position size on this one. We had a fairly okay 5-minute candle to make a new high, break above the high. This could be just kind of an aggressive pullback here. Going to give this a little bit longer here to ideally break back above 9.5. Let's see what we can get. Selling volume has slowed down a little bit here. I do want to see a bit more of a break back above 9. Smaller position size again, as a little bit of a reminder here. Still getting rejected here, 8.9 getting chipped away. Need a little bit more volume to break past this area. This could be a break back above the 15-minute EMA. It's what I'm waiting for right now. New minute just started. All right, I am out of this trade. I did not want the break of 8.9, and then we just had that for a little bit. I could have just sold too early, but that was kind of my risk area on that one. Took a small loss, small position size. Again, I was waiting for this to really start curling, but these larger companies, yeah, okay, this is what I was worried about a little bit, and that was the fact that, you know, this is a larger company. They tend to move a little bit slower. That was a bit annoying. So yeah, small cap wise, it would have been a good idea if that breakout is quite slow, right? So here we go, getting potentially breaking the 25 cents area right now. Let's see what happens. 19, 20. Yeah, it looks like I was right on this. 25 breaking out right now. $25. Might try a quick entry if we get a pullback. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to have to let this one ride, which is a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, this is exactly the move I was waiting for. Could be seeing that red to green on this one. Yeah, I think my problem with this one is I should have kind of told myself that this is a larger company. I gotta treat it. I gotta take everything like 3 times slower. That's what I didn't do on SRNE. Yeah, kind of a simple mistake on it. Oh well, that's fine. Just kind of watching it a little bit here. Luckily, I took just such a small position that it didn't really matter too much. So I'm just gonna keep watching it here. 23. I really do think it's gonna probably break above 9.5. Again, I don't know. It is struggling a little bit. The way it trades is definitely much different than your typical. Here we go, 23. Good fun to watch though. Good fun to watch. OMP breaking higher. Yep, there we go. That's the move we were waiting for. It's quite choppy. Like it'd be very easy to get chopped out on this one. I mean, I got chopped out, but I'm still watching it just like, ooh, you know, if this was any other small cap, you know, there's so many, you know, signals to just get out of this one. But you can't really apply those signals since this is a larger company. Choppy stuff here. This is what I was worried about a little bit. So we got rejected on the 15-minute EMA. Didn't get the breakout. Wasn't enough green volume to have a follow through. So it was a weak breakout. So I was seeing the right signs. Let's see. Maybe it will still break out. It's really hard to say. ACB. So I had a giant dip in the open. This was pretty crazy dip here. And then just instantly pulls all the way back to 16.5. That's a 32% move. Those are the kind of quick moves that we're looking for. Sweet stuff on that. All these stocks are a little bit not in the price category that I'm ideally wanting to trade. Some bigger resistance around 18, maybe even 17, I would argue. ACB is having a first pullback here. This could be a nice breakout continuation. Joe's wondering if I think stop hunting exists. Probably to some extent. It's really hard to say. ACB could be forming an ABC pattern here. It's looking pretty interesting. Carol's calling out MARPS. MARPS. Wow, look how low volume the small caps have today. I got halted here. Very low volume on MARPS, something I probably wouldn't trade just because of that alone. Could be good for buying some dips or something on this one. It will be interesting. So far, the 180-day moving average on MARPS has been quite restrictive, and this thing doesn't really hold its highs very well. It doesn't even have really nice runs, so probably won't be looking at MARPS. Lucky Music is wondering why I do not say the price when I buy and sell stock. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have like a specific system. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If I'm like really focused, sometimes I forget. I definitely try to point it out. Usually pre-market, this pre-market, I was a little bit rushed because I didn't have enough time, started a little bit late. But usually pre-market, I'll say everything that I'm planning to do. So, you know, 3 trades today, average position size about $1. So you could, you know, simple calculation, 100 shares on a $9 stock roughly, if I'm trying to enter quickly. And then just kind of walking through potential entries, potential exits. But yeah, I'll try to say that out loud a little bit more. SRNE, just watching it here. I'm really not the biggest fan about SRNE based on just, you know, the overall market capture is outstanding. It's a little more tricky to trade since your typical indicators are a little bit more choppy. There's a lot of volume here, a lot of shares. So yes, a mobile. Good point. Yeah, I know there's a lot going on, so it's probably almost impossible to watch this on mobile. But I'll keep an eye out for that. YCBD is also just not really doing too much. It's already 9:54 a.m. I got one trade in, small scratch, and not really seeing anything that has specifically blown my mind on excitement. So first trade with SRNE, bit of a red trade. I like OMP kind of crawling higher here. So far, I think this is definitely one of the more interesting ones. Typically, I don't look at stocks under 10 million in dollar volume for the day, and everything is under 10 million dollar volume for the day, besides CHK. If OMP breaks $6, I would probably consider doing some sort of entry on it. I think it has nice room to run. I gotta say it as well, YCBD, you know, it's kind of, it reminds me when we were having a lot of these stocks that wouldn't really, you know, they opened pretty nasty, but at the same time, they kind of held their highs okay. So if YCBD kind of holds its highs a little bit here, maybe forms a rounded bottom, it could be an interesting trade above 1.4, and then see how high it goes. Maybe it'll touch 1.6. That'd be 20 cents a share on a $1.5 stock. That's really not too bad. So I'll keep an eye out for that as well. JC's wondering what scanner I'm using. I'm using a little custom built TOS scanner. You can check out the video description below. I got a whole video on how I use the scanner and a link so you could just import it into your own TOS. AGFS has some solid support at 3.5. Heiko says, yeah, not too bad, AGFS. Between $2 and $7, really nice, decent volume, AGFS. Very quiet pre-market, which isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it means, you know, it's going to have some bigger opportunity into the market open, which you can clearly see it did. No specific news on it, but on the 5th or the 12th, good earnings. It is on the 12th though. Today doesn't really have a catalyst. I almost want to just start trading some large caps today. EULA, it's in the video description below. I'll send you the link right now. I got it already pulled up. YCBD pulled back again. Selling volume kind of pulling up on it. SRNE at 8.9. So it was a good thing that we got out. Probably could have walked away with 2-3% profit on that. If I don't know, if you know, doesn't really matter. Either way, didn't really work out. Whew, I hope we get some action going on here. Oh, gotta wake up a little bit. Is it worth maybe chewing on some coffee beans or something like that? I think we're gonna get some action. I think we are gonna get some action. We just gotta be patient, wait for it. AGFS could be interesting. I like that it's holding its highs. Could see maybe a break above VWAP. Don't really like the fact it doesn't have a catalyst. Watch out, definitely this zone has definitely some resistance in it over here. It's going to be trying to break up. This would be great if it broke above $4, $4.20. This would have a nice open range. SRNE still pulling back a little bit, but kind of just doing its thing. Just going to give it a little bit longer here. I would use the TOS paper trading. I actually kind of like it. I think it's pretty cool. You can also use on demand, where you can go back to any specific day and trade it again. Sometimes I really like to do that. But yeah, I would use the TOS simulator. I think it's quite nice. I probably wouldn't pay for a simulator. I almost want to buy YCBD on a dip, any dip past 1.2. But I'm not sure if I will, but with the slow action we're having, AGFS could be breaking that 3.6 area here. Some nice volume getting chipped away on it. Not the biggest fan of that resistance that we had in the sell volume, but it's hard to say. OMP pulling back as well. That would have been a tough one. Yeah, fair enough. The on-demand doesn't have the you can't really be trading live, but if you want to like play back a specific day, I find it kind of cool that you can do that. But yeah, typically just trading in the straight up simulator paper account is how you want to go about it. Here we go. AGFS having a breakout here. Nice little move. Crazy. It's crazy to be watching a stock with only $2.4 million volume. KTOV, that big resistance at the 0.6, maybe 0.64. Could be a bit of an ABC pattern here trying to break out. On the 5-minute, looks like a pretty healthy bull flag. Wow, guys, I think this is probably one of the slower days we've probably had of the challenge. Last week was a little bit slow in general as well in terms of the opens, but 8% move on YCBD out of the gates. That's not the worst, but it instantly failed. So it's not that nice. Nice, Heiko. Solid little profit on that. Good work. I wouldn't be surprised if people were just trying to jump on anything right now. AGFS, I mean, not necessarily a bad setup. We broke VWAP, having kind of a 1-minute pullback here after a 5-minute breakout. I mean, it could be somewhat promising, I gotta say. $10.06, only one trade in yet for today. Put an alert here so if we start breaking higher. KTOV crawling higher. I think the paper trading is real time. I would have to double check that. There's such a big spread on AGFS, which would make an exit really tough if you wanted to quickly get out of that one. You know, that's how these big, I mean, that was 20% move to the downside. I just find AGFS extremely risky. Paper TOS as well. Oh, wow, look at that. That's what I was worried about right there. Has no specific news about that. Or it had news actually come out, but nothing nothing good or bad, just kind of a little update here. Yeah, fair enough. But I think you should be happy that you just got out of that one. Oh man, imagine you held this a little bit longer. That would have been a huge red candle on that trade, just like for almost no reason. TNXP sub dollar, but it is moving higher here. Was able to hold its highs past 10 o'clock, started breaking to the upside. I gotta say, TNXP doesn't look too bad. We had a trade on it not too long ago. Very slow volume on this one. But yeah, it really does look like people are just ready to trade anything at this point. KTOV had a really nice breakout. 8% move so far, not too shabby. Still running. This is actually, KTOV is actually the lead small cap gapper on the day. That's kind of crazy. ACB, another one of these kind of larger caps that seems to be what people are trading today. Big time resistance there at about, was that 18? YCBD is pulling back again here. Yep, still pulling. This is one of those stocks that you just, you could see kind of pulling back all day almost. It might have a nice bounce at one point. It's hard to say where and when, but I'll probably keep watching it a little bit, especially if I don't get in 2 more trades in the morning. Good call, Bradley. Yeah, SRNE just still pulling back, huh? I'd probably like to see this one crack $8, see how far it goes from there. So we got all the way down to 811, getting some bouncing in. Just kind of watching SRNE. I don't really see that this thing pulling back super aggressively would be a massive point of concern in terms of buying a dip, because it does have such big amount of shares outstanding that any dip might just be overextended very quickly. Baron, some news came out that's fairly positive, but oh wait, this is not. I thought what Fed can do. I thought I had said SRNE. Company reported its COVID antibody demonstration and ability to inhibit viral infection in a lab experiment. Yeah. You can almost see that every time news comes out about SRNE, even if it's good news, it always causes a dip. KTOV at 0.65, that was a big move. Kind of impressive on that. $10.15. I'm just kind of watching here, seeing what could be a little bit runner here. I wouldn't be surprised if I just didn't get another trade in, and then I either called it a day, or I said, you know what, if I see maybe at 11, 11:30, 12, some sort of big bottom get hit, some sort of clear reversal, something starting to make new highs, something with volume, I would probably consider jumping in on it. But for now, not rushing anything unnecessarily. That's a little bit how I feel at the moment. ALJJ, look at this thing just kind of spiking up here. Very similar to AGFS, how it had a little run here, pulled back, consolidated, spiked up, and then pulled right back again. Look how similar this is. Almost identical, actually. Somehow I'm actually kind of surprised that I didn't buy on the $8 bounce. It's kind of a classic move that I would typically do, but Just, you know, kind of a slow mover. I'd actually like to buy SRNE on a larger pullback. Just because, I mean, I'm not super interested about these bounces that you only get, you know, perfect entry, perfect exit is 3.5%. It's not super exciting. ACB having a little bit more action here. 40% up on the day. Quite a significant little bounce there on this one. Yeah, really, really weird day. Today's a classic one of those you don't have to trade kind of days. I think KTOV was honestly the best stock in the small cap world, which is kind of impressive. It's not every day that the sub dollars end up being the best one, but I guess, you know, on a day where it's so unnormal that you could kind of assume that that might be something that would happen. Could try another breakout here, but I probably won't be trading it. Although I will kind of see here, you know, if we wanted to trade this one, I'd probably be looking at maybe 1800 position. A little hard to say. It depends where we would get an entry. You know, would we get an entry at 62? Would we get an entry ideally closer to 60? Would we be looking for a continuation? Nice, Terry. Good to hear, man. Sweet, sweet trade, Heiko. I like the 5% return. That's pretty amazing. Solid position size. Good stuff. I see you also set up a portfolio. No, usually not, Gavin. Don't have anything against it though. I just on this challenge account, what we're streaming here is purely small cap gap and go, buying the spot price, and I don't really do options outside of this challenge either. KTOV having a bit of a pullback here. Yeah, SRNE had kind of a nice little bounce here. Retested $8 and right now could be forming a new candle to make a high. So not too shabby. Not too bad at all. I mean, $8 now has kind of confirmed to be big time support. So we could see a little bounce here, a nice little reversal. Maybe even something, a pullback to VWAP or something like that. 1022. I'm kind of watching KTOV out of the corner of my eyes. I'm watching SRNE on a potential bounce. And honestly, YCBD doesn't look too bad either. You can kind of see here, back above the 15-minute EMA, bit more buying volume. Volume in general, though, is fairly low on it. We've been having a hard time getting some nice reversals on these kind of setups, though. A lot of times they'll just kind of pull back. I wouldn't really want to be buying the breakout, but maybe pull back to 1.27 or even lower. SRNE, I would probably take the same approach. No, I have not, but I will soon. KTOV pulling back again here. That's actually not a bad idea. Maybe something like when not trading the first 3 minutes is part of your strategy. Mainly because TOS. Emily's wondering if I've been inside of Berkheim. Sorry, I missed that actually, that first one. Oh, there I see it. Have you been inside of Berkheim? Yes, I have. It's quite the good time, quite the experience. Although I gotta say, my Mondays don't work as well when I'm there all Sunday or something like that. So I haven't been recently, obviously because of Corona, but just in general as well. No, Cruiser, I don't have any pets, but I have the window open and there's a bunch of trees like right next to my window, and I think there's just a ridiculous amount of birds chilling in it. I could close the window though if it's too loud. SRNE and YCBD are both making decent little bounces here. Yeah, ACB at 17, not too shabby either. KTOV could be bouncing at one point. I'm gonna put an alert here if it does. My advice would be to go with somebody that maybe already gets in quite a lot. It usually helps. Or really get into the whole theme of the thing. I got a specific costume just for that club, if you know what I'm saying. KTOV having a little bit of a bounce here. SRNE looking okay as well. Satoshi, you enter that SRNE trade. That is not too shabby at all. I just realized I had some extra windows open that I just closed. Hopefully that's going to help the stream quality a little bit. Yeah, ACB, good call on this one. 18 big resistance, but kind of building up some nice momentum here. That was a solid breakout there. I totally missed that one. A lot of stocks that I typically, or a lot of unexpected things, I would say, right now going on. $10.28. On Thursday swing, yeah, I feel you. Pulling back. Fairly strong breakout, pull back to 44. YCBD looks not too shabby as well. A lot of dip buyers on SRNE. $10.30. SRNE trying to pull back again here. So far, some decent buyers coming in. A lot of eager beavers to dip buy this one. I gotta say, YCBD, I wanted to kind of get a bit more aggressive on this one. I liked how it's been trending up slowly. I just kind of snoozed a little bit on it, and now it's kind of where I would be looking to take profits really, really soon. Yeah, I did exactly what I wanted. Kind of was torn if I should be looking at YCBD or SRNE, but that's just how it happens sometimes. You can see the two here, kind of similar. Both were breaking out higher at one point. YCBD is going to be trying to do VWAP breakout right now. Yep, tried and failed. Yeah, see, Cruiser going for MVIS. I gotta say, I haven't been like fully convinced on several of these. I think I'm just gonna, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep waiting. Maybe we'll see a setup. Worst case, I don't get any trades in today, or I get no more. I don't do my last two trades. Here we go. YCBD pulling out a little bit. Watch both of these. Need a little restroom break, and I'm gonna get a new coffee. I'll be right back. How dare he mute us? That's right. You guys got the mute button. Well, actually, I muted myself, if anything. Any possibility of SRNE going to $28 like CODX? Maybe. It definitely put in a base. It put in a little bit of a floor, which I like. So this could be kind of interesting. Really looks like today I'm going to probably just want to save one trade at least for some afternoon trading, or not really afternoon, but in case SRNE breaks back above VWAP, I would like a potential to get a nice little run to the upside. So I'm going to be looking for that. Small moves. YCBD having a bit of a VWAP bounce. Big volume though, overall. Kind of nice, actually, I gotta say. These setups could be a little tricky. Really, really sweet 11% move on that one. Yeah, Corey, I feel you. This is every time there's a bit of a slower morning, the afternoons tend to perform a little bit better, or at least late mornings. Jason's wondering HPQ, yeah or nay. I'm not sure. I don't think we've been looking at HPQ at all. YCBD. Gotta say, it does look quite interesting here. Might even break this former high. 144. Can we break it? Buyers coming in. Not that many sellers at all in that pullback. $145 getting chipped away. Instantly getting chipped away. Could be a breakout here at 145. See what kind of fall through we get on it. I've been kind of sleeping on YCBD for several good entries actually. I'm not sure why. A little disappointed in myself for that. YCBD is definitely probably one of the more interesting setups now. Probably no need to rush, but let's kind of keep an eye on this one here. These VWAP breakouts are sometimes very, very tricky and a bit annoying sometimes because you have these kind of false moves, or I just find that I don't have the best track record with the VWAP breakouts. Nice, Satoshi. Good to hear. Yeah, ABC, I mean ACB is actually quite hot, quite interesting. Now at 18.5, the thing's been kind of exploding slowly. Kind of want to watch ACB a bit close. I mean, yeah, this is. I like that we're breaking 18.5. So really sweet move here. That's been some long-term support and resistance, so this one could just keep on moving. 7% move so far, actually really, really nice. See if we break above the 50s. Yep, just broke past it. There we go. Really, really nice. I probably would have got faked out on that one. Buyers jumping on it now. Boom! YCBD. That was a nice move. $5 candle, just like that. Congrats to anyone that was long. Almost had that one. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Oh well. Gotta say, there's a few things moving now again, kind of for the first time, and it's getting quite interesting. YCBD, this is kind of what we were expecting. A little bit more late morning action. ACB crawling higher now. 1925 hit a high. A lot of good stuff. YCBD always has these really aggressive pullbacks. Nice, Satoshi. Yeah, it seems a little bit of a shaky play, but I do like that it's kind of gaining momentum. I don't really like the overall setup. I'm not, blown away. This is not my favorite, but buying these pullbacks could be quite interesting, actually. Could be seeing a nice little setup here for continuation breakout. Definitely the 1.6 is a very critical zone. We had original support here, and then that was kind of the beginning of the end for YCBD. Dim. SRNE could also be attempting to break back above VWAP for the day. Found the support at 8. It's tough to say. YCBD trying to break higher again as well. Yeah, good Satoshi, always good to switch it up. Somehow every time on YCBD I didn't have enough conviction behind my kind of trade thesis, and so far I've been letting them kind of just slide by me. SRNE on its way to try to break VWAP. Having a bit of a double top right now. ACB pulling back a little bit. SRNE could be breaking out right now past 9. Check out the 5-minute breakout, looking pretty healthy as well. Probably a lot of people taking profits in this area. I think a good entry on this one would be around the high 70s, maybe even 75, and then with the goal of it breaking VWAP. Here goes 74. That would have been a potential entry. ACB is kind of having that second pullback, and it's looking quite nice. I've yet to make a second trade. I haven't been, super convinced about a lot of these setups. Something's always kind of been keeping me at bay, which has made me miss definitely a few decent little moves for sure. SRNE might pull back one more time here. Little micro bear flag. The purple line is VWAP, V like vector. There's a lot of good videos on VWAP trading, but it is, here we go, breaking down right now, 80. SRNE always having those aggressive pullbacks that you just don't really expect. ACB making a new high again. $10:52 a.m. Only one trade so far on the day. Kind of a light trading day for me. It's been a little bit of a kind of an unexpected day, a little bit, with no clear lead gapper for me. Maybe another trader saw, a perfect one, but for me, I don't know. YCBD and wasn't exactly perfect, and then SRNE out of the gates was already, yesterday's or Friday's lead gapper, so I wasn't really super convinced. Also not in the price ranges that we're looking for. I gotta say YCBD is kind of setting up a little bit longer term pattern here, looking okay. Yeah, Marco, it's been slow. It's the hat. It could be, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's also kind of dangerous, trading these very slow moves, because eventually, if you look at it long enough, you'll FOMO into a move, and then you're like, now I'm down all of a sudden 2%. Let's say you're trying to, finally break the. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna finally get into this potential VWAP breakout. We've been seeing some nice ones today, and then all of a sudden you're down a little bit, and you're like, it's just a slow day. I should have just not traded. So I probably wouldn't really trade anything that might be breaking out higher, but maybe looking for those pullbacks. I don't know. Some funny conversations going on here. Now, if I was a real Wall Street Bets Redditor, I would probably just go all in on one of these bad boys. But looking at risk management, thinking about here what the best moves are. I'm not really over convinced. I do got to say YCBD, I've kind of been saying this like a broken record. It constantly has probably been the most enticing on this little journey to the upside. This is when I was confused if I wanted to trade this one or SRNE, and I was watching SRNE, and then I didn't get aggressive quick enough. This is the move I was looking for. This was a 12% move in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, and that I missed that one. I Kind of kicking myself a little bit about it. $10.55. Nice, man. Appreciate that. Oh yeah, thanks AB. I kind of got totally distracted on that one with VWAP. Yeah, there's many ways to trade VWAP, but you kind of understand what the average price is, and it's always weighted for volume. So it moves much quicker than other moving averages. And oftentimes, if a stock is trending above VWAP, it's bullish, and if it's trending below VWAP, it's bearish. And those are key things that we look for from time to time. Basing our trades off of VWAP, I don't do too much. But it's kind of nice to have on the screen simply because so many people are using VWAP, and kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy at one point. What am I calculating wrong here? In 30s? 700 then. So I'm just kind of looking at YCBD. This could be a VWAP bounce, or it could just be a little bit of a dead cat right here. I don't know. 1.4 is definitely some big support, so that's kind of what I'm looking at more than anything. And I like that we broke out above it. We're kind of retesting this area as well. Looking pretty healthy. Could be nice. The big buyers kind of coming back in here. A little bit of volume, but so far the trend has been to the downside, which is fine. Kind of a breather after a pretty solid little move from the low. It's a study you can add on almost any chart. On TOS, you just go and you add your studies right here at the top right of the chart. The Robinhood charts are fairly simple though, so probably wouldn't put too much expectations on those charts. $10.59, guys. Getting close to that 11. Whew. Lord, oh Lord. %6 move, not too bad. Yeah, I have a really hard time using Robinhood myself. That's true, Weeple's all right. Plus it's web-based, which is kind of nice. So only one trade for me today. I'm a little bit right on the day. Basically just a scratch, down $2. Uh, could have easily been a green trade. It was just, it wasn't really what I wanted, so I closed it. Let's see what we get here. Just gonna give it a little bit longer. ACB pulling back a little bit. I gotta say, YCBD, I do kind of like it. I just feel like I would get stuck in a flash pullback that is just super unnecessary, and I just don't feel like I want to end my morning trading day like that. So I'm probably not going to do it. ACB really pulling back here. Might get halted. 10:46 had some new stats in 5 minutes. Morning market news. It's just macro stuff. Nothing really too interesting. Very quick pullback to 1823. Look at OMP breaking out here. This is kind of that breakout we were waiting for. Maybe get a little quick entry here, potential 608 for a retest. Would typically make it be a bit more aggressive on a move like this, but this one has such a big spread that I wouldn't be surprised if it did have a flash little pullback. But it is typically better when these breakouts hold their high. So something in the 20s would actually be much more favorable for this breakout. Doesn't really. Slow, 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 slow. It looks good though. I do like what I'm seeing. YCBD looking interesting as well. Could be pulling back here a little bit. YCBD, again, getting a little bit more interesting, a little bit of volume coming in again. Had a nice little breakout here. 1.5 could be getting chipped away. That's a nice setup. Typically a setup that I would go pretty aggressively on. $150 could crack here. I don't like the pace that we're seeing across the board. That really does not excite me very much. ACB pulling back up. Yeah, guys, this is kind of what I was saying. So I'm going to be looking for good moves coming up here. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to keep probably watching the market for another 30 minutes or so. In my recap video, you'll definitely see if I entered another trade. Just a little bit of a slow morning, but sometimes slow mornings mean great afternoons. So I will kind of keep these two trades left over. Maybe I'll use them, maybe I won't. Again, you know, this challenge account is really for the gap and go strategy, which today was really almost not existing. So we'll see how I end up trading this one. I think YCBD definitely has potential. SRNE, if it breaks above 9, starts trending over VWAP, that could be kind of interesting. ACB has really been quite interesting this whole time. I wonder if it's going to hit the 180-day moving average at about $28. Again, I wouldn't really be surprised, but I'm just going to give the market a little bit more. Wait till we see a nice little upswing, some momentum to any sort of direction. YCBD does look good. Look at this break. Could break here. But I'm going to be wrapping up here, guys. Went a little bit over my typical stream time, but hey, why not? It was kind of good fun. Tristan, check out the first link in the video description below. I have a whole video on how I get around the pattern day trader rule by using a cash account and then allocating my trades properly. Look at this 1.5 breakout, really, really nice. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up here. Thanks for tuning in. Good fun, like always, trading with you guys. If you're new here, remember I go out with a recap video later today, and then I trade the market open. We start the live stream every morning at 9:15 a.m. and then we run till typically 10:45, 11, like around now. This is looking good. YCBD does look good. Remember to drop a like, guys, if you enjoy the content. And I will see you guys then later today for the recap and then first thing tomorrow morning. Take care, guys. Ciao, ciao.